in a whole lot of limbo. Roman, that is, Blum. Well, he died 2 years ago. Here's the gentleman. Without any heirs or a will. Major problem when you have $40 million. Still unclaimed, that money could end up just sitting in a New York State fund. Thousands of people have tried to cash in, but so far nothing has hit. So how do you protect your money now to prevent this afterlife situation? Gene Marks is a CPA, small business owner at the Marks Group, and an expert on wills today. Wow, imagine this. So this guy has $40 million. Like I said, no kids, nobody to give it to, except maybe that long-lost uncle.
That's right.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Gene, actually.
Well, that would be nice.
I should apply for that.
But where does this money go?
I imagine having $40 million and it just being kind to sit out there. So, I mean, here's what happens, Gretchen, right? Let's say you've got $40 million, right? You've got in the bank. You've got no relatives, you've got no spouse, you've got no parents, you've got no siblings, you've got no first cousins or kids. It goes down to that level. If they can't find anybody that's got that relationship with you, it goes into what's called an unclaimed fund. Now, every state has their own unclaimed fund. In the state of New York, where Mr. Blum is from, $13 billion is sitting there in unclaimed money. $13 billion, everybody.
But what happens to it?
It stays there forever. You think that, after a certain period of time, there's a statute of limitation and it goes back to the government. Now, different states are different, but in his case, in the state of New York, they swear and say right there on their website as well and in all documents that, nope, it stays there as unclaimed forever.
Wow.
And if somebody appears 10 or 20 years from now and says, I have a stake in that money is yours if you can prove it.
All right, so let's help out a bunch of folks out there today because, I mean, the moral of this story is that people should have a will.
Have a will. I mean, not only just have a will, but also have a trust as well. I mean, first of all, to create a will is really not that hard to do. I mean, first of all, you should definitely see an estate attorney or your CPA.
Number one, see the estate attorney.
Well, by the way, there's great websites that do wills for you very inexpensively, like LegalZoom.com. I really like them as well. Okay, so see an attorney, set up a will. Number two thing is that you always want to consider setting up a trust, Gretchen. And what a trust does is it takes your money, if you were to pass it away, and puts it into another entity. And with a trust, it avoids probate, which means it doesn't have to go through the government bureaucracy and all of that. Everything's been thought out in advance. And God forbid if there's any lawsuits or liabilities or anything against you personally, the trust might be able to protect you from that.
Now, if you happen to have a little extra cash on hand, you also recommend that parents should try and give that money to their kids.
Yeah,
why?
Exactly. Well, first of all, you want to avoid estate taxes. Now, estate taxes affect people that have more than $5.34 million in assets, approximately $5 million in assets. So if you've got more than $5 million, you're going to be subject to a 40% estate tax. So if that's the case, what you want to do is try to gift out as much as you can as soon as.
But even if you only have $100 in the savings account, it's still important to have a will.
Of course, because you don't want to give that kind of a headache to your heirs, to your kids. Don't let them try and figure it out. I have to prove to the courts that they're entitled to the money. Take the time out to put it together so that they don't have those kinds of headaches when you pass away.
What a story about that guy.
It is $40 million. We have to line up.
Sitting there forever and ever.
Yeah.
Gee, thanks so much.
Thanks, Christian.